Alright, welcome to Core's Mixed Bag, part 2 of the Commando walkthrough of Call of Cthulhu. Now we're going into chapter 3, which is the visit of the Hawkins Mansion where the fire took place. Here's what it says. Pierce managed to get into the warehouse. The place, thought to be abandoned, revealed some surprises. Signs of recent occupation, as well as partly charred painting. Interrupted in his searching by Officer Bradley, Pierce convinced him to join his investigation. The police officer is willing to drive the detective to the Hawkins Mansion. Alright, so game is called Call of Cthulhu, but it has nothing to do with the book because this is kind of a prequel to what's happening in the book. Also, the characters are very different. Well, none of the characters in the game are from the book, and a lot of what's in the story of the book is very different from this, because a lot of the cult members in the book were actually depicted as tribal groups, like in the story of Professor investigator Legrasse, the tribe were described as voodoo-like worshippers, and they were like, according to the author, not very smart, and also I'll just like skip through all that stuff. Let's go and let's not waste any time. And the Professor Webb in the second part and the second story of the book of Call of Cthulhu talked about Eskimos, and in the first part also to give an impression that cult members were actually not like, this is like a kind of a jump scare with the crows going up. This is something that gives the impression that the cult members were actually not like American or Anglo-Saxons. Professor Webb was actually got into like, how do they call that? Like, I stumbled against someone, and that caused his death. So this is Charles Hawkins' tomb, and Sarah Hawkins. And the sad part is always like a kid.
Poor kid.
Simon Hawkins. So in the books of Call of Cthulhu, it's always strangers or non-Anglo-Saxons that are part of a cult. But here in this game, they kind of give it a different flavor, where the cult members are actually the fishermen, and the group that leads them, that are the high priests of the cult. So let's just check that cutscene here. This is Silas, the caretaker of the mansion. He's always taking a look, an eye out, and using his axe to make sure no one goes in.
I'll show you how we have it out on Darkwater.
I'm just gonna take the quick
Sarah Hawkins' father
answers.
sent me here to investigate the death of his daughter. Webster, huh? I understand how he feels. But me, I want the dead.
So don't hesitate to subscribe to the channel, but it'll be helpful if it ever become possible to monetize this. It will support my family. That's probably the only reason why I would try to make money out of this channel. But for the moment, it's not one of those channels that has a lot of attraction, so it's not a big deal for me. What's important is like just to communicate and have fun and play some games that I've played before. So yeah, just going through this game. This is Call of Cthulhu. Game came out in 2018. Game looks good, but some of the some elements in there are a little bit janky. I'd say like the animations and some of the reactions of the characters are kind of I don't know. I wouldn't call it obnoxious, but they stand out a lot. But anyway, it's not a big deal. Can go through it.
I keep an eye out. Vermin. Yeah, that's it. Vermin. Right.
So here the goal again is to go through the game in a single playthrough and get hit all the conditions to get all 4 endings at the end, and we'll check them together. So this is chapter 3, and we're gonna do a bit of an investigations. There's a lot of gameplay in this game that is very different. Like here it was like it was some branching in the dialogues. Are gonna get some investigations in there. There's a bit of RPG elements where I level up the character or spend like character points into like attributes that I want to level up my character in, and yeah, that's and also near the end of the game there's also gunfights or element of action elements in there. So it's very there's a lot of stuff going on, and so this is the second part of chapter 3. So the Hawkins mansion, that's the inside of it. Pierce and Officer Bradley explore the gardens of the Hawkins mansion. The family lies in a graveyard and the property guarded by Silas Winchester. The old caretaker is still faithful, and the employers keep watch on the place. Armed with an axe, Pierce and Bradley manage to calm him down and finally get hold of the key in Hawkins mansion. They enter the building and looking for the scene of the fire. So follow him. So the lighting, very interesting. It's always green. This is a color that's very thematic to H.P. Lovecraft's work. If you look at Bradley's lantern is yellow, and the flame is yellow, and I also have a lighter that the flame is yellow, but the light from all the environment that are not controlled by the characters are green. And in the books of H.P. Lovecraft, or the short stories of Lovecraft, green is a predominant color. So this is a piece of meat.
What strange creature's flesh.
So the whole thing of the story is that they are feeding off the Leviathan. That was the miraculous catch, and here they're eating some of it, trying to connect to the Leviathan and well, one of the mythological creature, and want to get through the cult some kind of connection to Cthulhu.
Sarah Hawkins' plate. Why did she leave it untouched? Something happened at this table.
So in this chapter I have a lot of reconstruction to do to get a glimpse of the story.
Working, officer. This dinner table tells us a lot about the Hawkins family life.
Well, we don't have all day. The scene of the fire is next door.
So let's go check out the fire scene, the scene of the fire. It's really nice though. The look of the table, it's pretty gruesome, disgusting, It's like the level artists did a good work on that, I could say. Since it's not like procedural environments and stuff like that, they have a lot of time to work on like the interior and do good past. The lighting artist did a great job with the kind of god rays going through the crack there. It's pretty cool.
Let's see if I can find something the cops missed.
And also creating two environments, like the environment of the reconstruction and the environment of like the
child's corpse.
gameplay environment, I could say.
Where are the others? Did it stop at the
So
top?
I'm just gonna go through all the elements of investigation there.
Why did Sarah Hawkins lose one of her shoes? How? If the painting I found on the docks really was Charles Hawkins a heavy drinker?
So I get a good idea what happened. Like he drinks, get into a fight, she get knocked down. There's the lamp that caused the fire, and this is like one of the element. Like I looked a lot to find the information. It was this bit of information because I kept looking around the scene, but when I go to the door, there's the last or one of the last element of the story that is right here. So let's go back to Bradley.
Blood. This lamp was thrown. This was no accident. This was a fight. Someone fell here.
So the cutscene kind of tells what happens there.
A desperate attempt to flee. Boy.
So, detective, what do you make of it?
So I'll just I could click that one. It would bring me a big wheel of full of different answers regarding like all the time, the point of the elements that I found here. But I'm just gonna
I
skip
firmly
through,
believe this
skip
fire
that.
was more than just an accident.
What's your theory?
So I'm just gonna say it's a crime of passion.
Passion.
You sure of that?
There's only one way to be sure.
Alright, so I got one character point, so I'll keep going in our investigation.
I just ask that you don't disturb anything.
This is like one book that helps me add progression points to the medicine element or attribute of the character. It's the element of the story.
Bandages are covered in dried blood. The same bandages that I saw in the warehouse on the docks. And given the bloodstains, I'd also say that it's the same person. The lyrics of the drunken sailor. The sea.
Just looking around there.
An original edition of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, dated 1818. Moby Dick, Melville's classic. This piano is
Just looking around.
It's quite
looks like the Hawkins kept it more for decoration than for music.
This is a cool looking kind of library. Look at all the books all over the place. I don't know if they placed all the assets manually, but that's a lot of work. Feels like the book in the shelves though, it's like one big asset and they duplicate that. Like you could tell with the books here. It's the same layout, so it's just one shelf and they duplicated the shelf and placed
Dark water history.
some of them together.
Back in 16
So they like all four shelves.
by two families that
Like
live
that
through
section
building
is the
and
same with this one, the same there, and the same there. So they don't have to do like four different shelves or fill up the shelves with like different layers of books and setups. That'd be a long time. But like this one is the same as the four other theirs, but that one's a different one. And there's again like those two are the same as those over there. That one is the same as the one next to the painting. It's probably because they have different dimensions, and when they stuck two together, there was like this one wouldn't fit there, so they created another one. Anyways, it's just me,
20,000 leagues
le-
under the sea.
level designer, a little bit of a geek,
Mysteries of the sea.
noticing like always notice patterns and things. So yeah, I work in the level as a level designer in the video game industry. So if you have any questions about that, don't hesitate to send me in questions in the comments. It'll be more than a pleasure for me to try to talk about stuff. If you have a game or something like that that you work on, or if you have like questions about games, yeah, I'm open to look at stuff. I worked like for 2 years as a QA. It's a very interesting job. It's a level entry job, but it's good to have an overview of everything that goes on into a video game, and that's how you get an idea of like what
A child's
where you could go
threat was Simon protecting his world.
in the future, like if you're interested to do something else after in the video game industry. It's always a good way of learning about stuff.
Sarah must have read it.
So we're in the bedroom with the boy, just learning about what happened for him a little bit.
Sleeping pills.
He looked like he was tormented,
Boy, what was wrong with this
and
family?
now we're learning a little bit about this character.
What nightmarish vision could have inspired them? Simon's troubles went beyond family problems. That kid saw something. Something terrified him.
It looks like the use or the consumption of that creature or the Leviathan meat actually
Simmering for some time.
created or gave hallucination or nightmares to the characters. And nightmares is one big part of the mythos of the Call of Cthulhu, created by the Cthulhu mythos, created by H.P. Lovecraft. A lot of the characters are tormented by nightmares, because in the idea is that the creatures of the Cthulhu mythos are been there for forever, like they are as young as the sun, and while they are dormant,
Bradley, is that you?
they communicate to humanity with dreams.
Reveal about her. A barbiturate prescription from a certain Dr. Fuller. That's a massive dose. Was Sarah violent?
Alright, let's just look around. I think I've found pretty much everything in that room. Yeah, alright. This is the next part
Is anyone there?
of the investigation. So this is like one of the big reveal in here is that Sarah Hawkins, the painter, person I want to know, I want to learn about from like what happened, painted a picture of the main character, Edward Pierce, and she has the picture in her studio. And now, like, this guy takes a painting and runs away, so I'm on a chase right now. There's one mechanic I don't like here, is the jump. I have to press the interactive button to do it instead of just like running towards the ledge and triggering an animation. But that's a game design decision.
A man was hiding on the upper level. He ran when he saw me. He can't be far.
So we're gonna
I'll cover you.
go in that direction. It's good that like the character of Bradley kind of guides the players in that direction, and now like I have that information that the door was closed. Got 4 character points.
Charles
Just gonna look around, get occultism points, fill up my lantern.
Charles Hawkins knew Captain Fitzroy very well.
So these guys, this is Captain Fitzroy, Charles Hawkins, and the Dr. Fuller that we'll learn about later. These guys are kind of the cult leaders of on the island, and they're kind of the authority. So he's taking care of the sailors. He's super rich, and he's the doctor on the hospital of the island. So they have a lot of controls and powers over the inhabitant of the island, and they're also cult leaders.
The Scylla.
You really think
This panel is movable.
I don't see any way out.
So in the game, the crowbar spawned somewhere in the house, but it was not available for me. So it either spawns or doesn't spawn, or I just didn't find the spawning points of it, which is fine. There's an alternative, so you can use the crowbar to open the mechanism that will move the bookshelf. But if you don't find it, it's alright. There's this that you can use as like some kind of key.
Seems to have been part of some mechanism.
And the puzzle, there's a puzzle actually attached to that. It's so I'm gonna show you. So you have the book,
From a log.
the sailor's log. This is the important point values, 33 north by 53 west. So you have to find where it is on the map.
Looks like the navigational paths.
It's
described in
like
the log.
it's kind of like here on the map, like in the Atlantic, and you see like 33 north, 53 west is like bigger than the other locations on the map. So what we do is just like, you don't really need to know that. You just move it in the middle of this kind of compass star and confirm with the E, and that's gonna work.
Looks like it worked.
So you just open the door. Cutscene. The door was open, but in the cutscene it's a little bit closed. So 2 different teams working on 2 different things. Find the shoulders on the characters are a little bit lower compared to the normal body, but it's not a big deal. So this is chapter 4. So we will keep going with chapter 4. So we'll just do this chapter, and at chapter 5 we will stop this second portion, the second video, and I'll record the rest in the third video. So chapter 4, tunnels under the Hawkins mansion. Inside the Hawkins mansion, the scene of the fire revealed its secrets. Pierce and Officer Bradley, now on the trail of Survivor, had undertaken to search the place, looking for proof, when a hooded man leaped into Sarah Hawkins' workshop to steal a painting. Detective and police officer set off after him. By following him, the office of Charles Hawkins, they discovered A secret passage. Pierce and Bradley enter tunnel under dimension. Alright,
Secret passage.
yeah.
Under the manor.
I know. I just read that.
That guy must have already gotten far.
Alright.
Yeah, 3 seats.
New reconstruction scene. Got a lot of reconstruction here. It's alright.
Did Charles
I find it's a cool element of gameplay. It's kind of like an interactive story where you look around, try to find some bits of stuff. It's not like the most advanced detective gameplay, but it's fun.
What is
It
this mask?
kind of like have a little bit of like flashback of what happened. So again, this is kind of like the reconstruction of the fireplace of the fire event. One element of, or one clue is way off the perimeter. It's like right here. So it kind of takes a little bit longer to find that one, but it's alright. Find it. And sometimes when reconstructing that, there's an element of that points towards that guy, but you have to have level up occultism or the ability to search, and he spots her in the distance. Anyways, let's keep going. So now we're gonna venture in the tunnels. So we're just gonna go fast. It's just like pretty straightforward, like you just follow the path. There's not multiple path. There's this point where
Of course.
the path of
Something tells me that the
Pierce and Bradley splits up.
There's tunnels all over this island. Given the size of this cave, there's gotta be other entrances.
Alright,
Passage continues further down. Might as well start with that.
let's go down that way.
I ain't gonna squeeze in there. I'll find another way. If possible, I prefer not to ruin my uniform.
Fine, fine. Go look for another entrance. I'll try my luck down below.
Alright, so the split path. Pierce goes down, doesn't care about getting wet. So go here, squeeze through the rubbles. And his feet are gonna be cold, all wet like that. So this is
These paintings must be several centuries old.
kind of like part of the book is the depiction of Relier, the stone kind of house of Cthulhu. This is like a depiction of the Leviathan.
These people lying down. Are they dead? Are they asleep? These buildings seem to have come out of the water.
Another jump. I'll just go straight to the point.
Time has weakened these structures.
It's a nice looking environment. It's good looking. The green flame. Open the gate there. Now we're gonna meet Bradley again.
What's going on here?
There's the cult.
Keep your voice down. We're not alone.
What have you got me into?
We'll see. I'll go on. Try to go down on your side.
Alright, so we're gonna meet Bradley again a little bit later. So we'll keep going. Look at this ground. All like shiny. So again, the painting, my face on it. Well, not my face, the face of the main character.
An engraved whalebone. A strange
Get some occultism points. Gonna look at the picture. You know, you have to look behind when you stare at yourself there. Alright, I'll wake up in nightmarish vision. Kind of reconnecting to what I dreamed of at the beginning of the game.
I can't breathe. What's happening?
Having a panic attack.
Is it my turn?
Yes, it is time. You will soon be one of us, if your body and mind are ready.
I dream of it every night. I have constant visions. I am ready.
Good enough. Prove it to us.
It's like in my dreams.
It's like in his dream. Alright, let's find some points, like
Seems to have been used recently.
occultism progression.
I can't read Latin.
Get the book. Can't read Latin, but if I had occultism leveled up, he can read what's written there. So go under there. Get back up. I don't need the chain cutter. I just open the door. Now it goes stealth. Let's see what's going on there. The cult is like someone's laying there. Some kind of ritual.
I feel him.
You are bringing more Satan pass through every part of you.
So I'm gonna look at this guy.
All you who sleep
Dead.
He's dead.
This ritual
your
killed him.
return into the
Where's the
kingdom
sense in
of
that?
the earth.
I'm gonna crouch a little bit.
What about your protege?
So the voices you hear is like Captain Fitzroy and Dr. Fuller. And now, to make sense of what I saw in the dream, it's what's going to happen here. A clear vision. And here's the reveal. The guy with the tentacles is actually Charles Hawkins, still alive but mutated.
Bradley, what are you doing here?
I saw two odd-looking guys coming down. Seemed up to no good. What in the world is this?
An intruder!
Oh, shit. Don't move! Police! Don't move!
And there's like Charles Hawkins, but he's all like
I won't hesitate.
gross.
Bradley, get back!
Get back! You asked for it!
He looks like the Sarah Hawkins paintings.
You shouldn't have seen this.
Alright, now it's gonna be time to run.
It's caving in. I need to get out of here.
So just follow the path. Just run. Well, character is running, so you just like go where there's no obstacles. Pretty simple gameplay, but creates a sense of urgency. Claustrophobic feeling when going to the funnel of the tunnels. So this is pretty much the end of chapter 4.
My leg.
I'm gonna crawl. Gotta try to get to the end of this. And now, like, oh, I see the light. I'll try to get there.
Light. At last.
And no, I can't. Alright, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. If you like, don't hesitate to subscribe. No worry about that, but again, this is just for fun, so I'm just doing a commented walkthrough of Call of Cthulhu. This is the second video, and the third video will come very soon, maybe sooner than this video. I think like there was a bit of time in between the first and second, but hopefully next time it'll be closer. It takes time to do this stuff, kind of thing. But anyways, it's a little bit fun. So thank you for watching, and take care. Have a good night.